Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, Saving a Giant with me, Daniel. It's episode 6, the penultimate one of the challenge, and we've got the return leg of the Merseyside derby as we hope to do the double over Everton. We're heading to Goodison Park to face Sean Dyche's side. They're in 7th place in the league, as last weekend we overtook them for the first time this season. A remarkable rise up the table really, from 16th place and 2 points off relegation when we joined, to 6th place and almost guaranteed Europa League football just a few months later down the line. We've got 4 more games to get the job done. We face relegated Sunderland away from home and struggling Brighton at home in 2 of those matches, so winning these 3 games would certainly take us into Europe, and hopefully we wouldn't have to worry about beating Chelsea. That'll be a tricky one on the final day of the season, and it'll also be the final episode of this series before we do a sort of head coach 10 years later episode, probably on Saturday next week, just so we can holiday through a few years and see how some of our late heroes got on. But a massive thank you to everyone that's given this short-term challenge a try, and I really hope you're enjoying it. We've got a few little ones like this planned for FM20, though of course they'll be from the start of a save, rather than us joining 13 years on, after we've had a long distinguished career in football. But we'll go and get into that game in a moment, after we've looked at the results since the last episode. If you did miss the last one, then do go back and check it out. It was a magical FA Cup tie against Man City, an absolute classic and well worth watching, certainly a bit of a nail biter. But you're going to get a spoiler now if you haven't clicked over, as we go and have a look at the results since the last episode. If we look at the schedule, you were with me for that game, where it was a fantastic tie, a 4-all game, and unfortunately we lost it on penalties. Then we played them in the league just 2 weeks later, after the international break. Unfortunately we lost that 1-2-0, and it was far more comfortable than the FA Cup win. Then away against West Ham we won 4-0, a fantastic performance on the road for us, possibly our best away performance since joining the club, as we've often struggled at the back in away games, but on this occasion we looked completely tight. We looked really solid and we did a great job, and in the end it was a comfortable 4-0 victory. Then away to Ipswich away from home, just 3 days later on the Saturday. The first game of April we looked far more fragile at the back, and it was almost normal service resumed there, as Brewster had to dig us out of a hole after Alexander-Arnold's early own goal. Then at home to Leicester last time round, a brilliant 5-1 win. Shea Ben-Harush proving why the big money was spent on him. 4 goals for him before Brewster got a 5th. A fantastic 5-star display and another brilliant performance at home as we continue to bang in goals for fun. Unfortunately, George's Bosman picked up a knock in that one. He's going to be out for 3 or 4 weeks, so it does leave us a little bit short up front today as Jimenez is struggling for fitness too. But let's go and get into this match against Everton. Everyone wants to see the derby game. We did brilliantly in the first one. I think it was the first game we actually showed on camera in an episode. Number 2 was the Merseyside derby, and it was a fantastic end-to-end game that time, so I'm hoping we can say the same today. So it's listed in the team news that we're missing Bosmans and Anderson through injury, but of course we've got Antunes just coming back from a long-term one. He's not fit to be in the squad yet, and Jimenez is barely fit either, so we're a little bit light up top. We're slight favourites despite being in inconsistent form, though Everton are starting to fall away as well, so it could be either side getting the victory in this one. It's going to be a very close match, with 2 sides struggling at the back. So you can see the difficulties I was talking about in fitness. Jimenez marked as match fit, but just 85% condition. Normally I've got the rule I'll never play anyone under 90. I know that's fairly common in the FM world. And then Antunes 82% condition, but not match sharp at all, having just come back from 2 months injured. At the other end we're almost at full strength. We've got pretty much our first team available. Trent Alexander-Arnold plays as we want that Merseyside experience. He will have played in countless derbies over the year, so despite his poor form we want to give him a chance. It means we've got Manolis in goal as always, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Lambert are the fullbacks, Lucimar and Zhao in the middle, Benitez and Antonov in central midfield, with Benitez slightly deeper in that Segundo Volante role. Antonov really starting to impress as the playmaker, though he still does struggle for fitness at times. times, and with Lewis Cook now at 35 years of age, he's not really helping much as a deputy. Then Morella's in on the right for the injured Bosmans, as he's making his own step up in a comeback. Not started a game in the league since his injury, just a few sub-appearances for him so far. Ben Hurush fresh off his 4-goal display, he plays on the left-hand side. By far our standout player now, 4.5-star ability, and he looks an absolute world beater at just 21 years of age as well. So when we do our 10 years in a future episode, he's certainly someone we'll look at. Is he still going to be at Liverpool or in England, or is he going to be an absolute world beater and have played at all the big clubs in Europe? Then up front we've got Brewster, very much at the other end of his career, but 20 Premier League goals now. Don't forget he only had a few when we joined the club. I think 3 he had in all competitions, so a super return from him. He's been absolutely brilliant for us, and at 32 again he's played plenty of derbies, so that's going to serve us well today. And then not through choice, but he's partnered by Dave Connolly. He came off the bench and ran riot in the first game. That was at home at Anfield. His cameo appearance featured some goals, most of them coming via mistakes. And again he was almost a hero against Man City last time, as we narrowly lost out in the FA Cup. So he gets his chance from the start today, and despite his 2.5-star rating, I'm hoping he'll put on a strong display. So let's go and get into this match against Everton, and hope we can do the double in the Merseyside derby. Here we go then, it's a 4-4-2 for Everton. Again they've got Pedro at right back, a player we had in a head coach series with Newcastle of course. Matt O'Reilly's in central midfield, a Fulham youngster in real life. We don't recognise many others of the names, although have a look on the bench for a minute. Does anyone remember our head coach spell at Newcastle? As well as Pedro, Mason Greenwood's on the bench. He played for United and Blackburn beforehand, and after a brilliant spell at Newcastle, he's now been here at Everton for 2 seasons. A nice surprise to see him here, a big pay rise he got to come to Everton, and he's at 30 years of age now, an experienced pro. I'm sure he'll be a threat off the bench. But let's go and talk to the lads and tell them what we expect. We want them to pick up where they left off. Oleg Yarovinski agrees with that, so we're going to go with exactly what he says. Most of the lads are motivated, we're really looking forward to the derby, and Nelson Antunes is nowhere near fit, which is why he isn't in the squad today. We believe the lads can get a result, but we know they've got to play to their best. It's Everton with a kick-off to Pedro. He plays a 1-2 with his centre-half, and don't forget Everton were brilliant in the first half last time round, before we came back late on in the second. And again they've got the early possession here, though they haven't managed a shot yet. João flicks on the clearance towards Conte, who gets it wide to O'Neill. It's Conte again to Kamara, who scored both of those goals if I remember rightly, certainly scored at least one, and was a thorn in our side all game. It's Elsmendi with a shot, and Kamara scored again. Every time I say it, it happens. 34th goal of the season for Kamara, 24 in the Premier League, a superstar striker from Portugal, and a disastrous start to the Merseyside derby for us. We're going to drop to a balanced mentality, and with 10 minutes gone we'll demand more from the lads. It's Everton with a throw-in on the right. Pedro gets it straight into Lambert, and he heads it away straight back to him. Medic to O'Reilly and now Conte. He's going to get it inside to O'Neill. Alexander-Arnold with a brilliant tackle, but it only falls for Conte a third time. O'Neill back to Luis Felipe, the left back. Inside to O'Reilly in central midfield. O'Neill cutting in with possession, but it's back to O'Reilly again. Completely comfortable for Everton. They've had more of the ball, and they've had most of the chances too. We can't complain at the fact they're ahead. O'Neill and Conte keep in possession. How long's this highlight going to go? We've got urgent pressing on and nothing's really happening. We're not closing the ball down quickly. We let O'Neill into the box unopposed, and he's put it into the top corner, and with 12 minutes gone we're 2-0 down. What a disastrous spell it's been, and after the brilliant performances in recent times, this one's an absolute shocker. A terrible start in the worst game possible, and the fans won't forgive us if we lose this. We could let Everton into Europe at our expense, although Ben Hurush nearly scores there. What a way it would be to throw it away though. All our hard work to get up the league, and then we come to Goodison Park and perform like this. 25 minutes gone, Everton have the throw. Luis Felipe finds Conte. He gets it to O'Reilly on the halfway line. Back to Pedro at right back again. No opposition at all. We've got pressing on, don't forget. We're trying to press high up the pitch. Urgent pressing and nothing's happening. We're just standing off and letting them keep it. Again, O'Reilly gets a free shot from 20 yards, and this is the worst performance I've seen in some time. Probably since that City one in the League Cup many months ago. Even in the league game we had some chances. Here we're not posing a threat. Though having said that, it's Morella to Connolly, into Shea Ben Harush. He gets one back and it's completely undeserved, but we're not going to complain as we get a lifeline. Back into it with our first shot on target, and Ben Harush to the rescue again. Unfortunately, he's a one-man team at the moment, as Everton are in again. Elsmendi keeps it in and Lucimar clears, but only as far as Pedro. Into Conte in midfield. Plenty of space on the edge to O'Neill. He challenges unopposed, and then Elsmendi gets the rebound. It's blocked by Manolis, behind for a corner to Everton. An outswinging to be taken by Medic. Into the back post, Zhao heads away, and Morella's got a chance to run onto it. Can we break here and get an equaliser before half-time? Wouldn't be deserved at all, but we'd certainly like it as Brewster's in, and he hits the post via Webb's fingertips. A brilliant save by the Everton keeper, and with 10 till the break it remains 2-1. We're back with Lambert at left back for Liverpool, as we've got a warning to close Medic down. It's Ben Harush on the left hand side though, as O'Neill's got a warning as well. It's Benitez on the edge of the centre circle. He goes forward to Brewster. Got Morella running off him if he can find him. He does, and he gets to the byline. Into Ben Harush, who loses in the air. Pedro gets it away. It's Antonov 25 yards out. Inside to Connolly. Brewster's in one-on-one, but he's just adjudged to have been offside, and in the end Everton survive. We're coming back into it after a poor start. It's starting to mirror the first Merseyside derby. Almost half time, Everton still lead. Fingers crossed we can get back into it. It's a corner to Everton as we move into stoppage time. That's absolutely awful marking. Medic into Conte. There was no one within 5 yards of him, but thankfully he put it wide of the post. It's Benitez to Antonov in our own half. His touch is heavy and it's gone to Conte. Now O'Neill to Conte again, and O'Reilly in plenty of space. Shoots unopposed and is saved by Manolis, but behind for another Everton corner. Just 5 seconds left of stoppage time. Lucimar heads away. Kamara shoots and it's blocked. O'Neill adjudged to be offside, and hopefully that'll be the half-time whistle. We trail 2-1 at Goodison Park, and after a disastrous start we've at least got back into it. We'll tell the lads it's disappointing, just as Yarovinski recommends. He's completely spot on with that team talk. We probably could have been a bit harsher. It's Lucimar from the kick-off to Zhao. Long ball forward which Pedro heads away, and it falls for one of his central defenders, who clears it long downfield. It's a throw on the right for Everton. Not even 5 minutes into the second half yet. Constant highlights again. Conte hits the post for them. We're not putting any pressure on the shots on the edge, and I've got to go and work out why tactically. I'll go and have a look after this highlight, as we haven't changed our instructions at all. But it's Antonov nicking it high up the pitch, tries to thread it through for Brewster. It was a really poor pass though, and it's cleared away easily. O'Reilly's now put Elsmendi in. He's through one-on-one. It's a good save by Manolis, and he's hacked away by Zhao for an Everton throw. I've looked at the tactics and I can't work out why we're not pressing. We're doing exactly the same as we would normally. I haven't really changed too much. We've just reduced the tempo when we get possession to make sure we don't keep misplacing passes. Bring a little bit of control to the game as Benitez gets it wide to Lambert. Crossed in for Connolly, a brilliant save by Webb, and he's tipped over the bar for a Liverpool corner. Can we get an equaliser before the hour mark? Antonov into Ben Harush, and his front post glance is straight into the arms of the keeper, who rolls it out for Pedro. Into the centre half again. Back to Pedro on the right. Webb goes long downfield, but there's no one really there. Zhao manages to head it away, and Benitez finds Ben Harush. Into Antonov, and the highlight ends. With an hour gone, we've got to think about substitutes. Just a quarter to go as Antonov delivers. Flicked on by Connolly, but no one was there. Away to Medic, who clears downfield, and again we're left 2-on-2. Kamara into the box, and Manolis saved, and I think it's time for some substitutes. Let's go and bring off Lambert. Nervous at left back and not playing well. Diamande comes on for him. In central midfield, Benitez is struggling. Vita Hugo comes on in a Segundo Volante role. And Henry and Brewster's not playing well either. But I don't think we can take our only first team striker off. So as a result, we're going to take off Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's fired up but not playing well. So Breno Henrique comes on at right back. Fresh legs out wide, and hopefully we can attack and try and get back into the game through that route. Into Shannon at the back post from a corner. It's headed away by Ben Harush. Been brilliant in defence as well as attack. He's been a bit of a one-man effort out here. Medic crosses again to Shenin. Back to the edge for O'Neill. He switches it but Antonov clears and Brewster can now start a counter. He's got Ben Harush over on the left. There's two ahead of him if he can find them. A brilliant tackle by the Everton centre-half though, and it's cleared long downfield to safety. 20 to go and the subs have been made. Can they get us back into this game? It's a free kick for Morala 25 yards out, just wide of the post with a curling effort. Not sure why we saw it, it wasn't particularly close, but in the end it remains 2-1 to Everton. 10 to go and they've got their own one now. Kamara's shot's blocked by Connolly. He's been fouled again but it's fallen for O'Neill. The advantage played as Morala wins it back. He hacks it long away to Brewster, who switches it to Shea Ben Harush. He's got Brewster running on the other side again. Instead goes wide to Diamande. The sub left back tries to cross it, straight into the foot of another player, and it's cleared away easily. It was a terrible cross, straight into the opposing defender. Diamande throws it long downfield. Again gives it away straight back to Medic. Kamara gets it into O'Neill, and I'm sure he'll have a shot from here. Into the box unopposed. He had time to take a touch and even have a cup of tea, and in the end Everton lead 3-1. We're going to go all out attack. We're going to ask the lads to show some passion, as we've not seen much of that spirit today. 5 to go, it's going to be a comfortable defeat, and possibly the worst episode of the series. Really disappointing and a poor performance, and if I hadn't decided already we weren't continuing, this certainly would have put me off another season. Morala delivers into the box, Lucimar gets it as it's headed away. João back out to Morala again, into Brewster who loses out. Breno Henrique can't get there, and it falls for Hugo on the right. Again an aimless cross. We reduced the tempo so this didn't keep happening, and in the end we've just gone even more rash. We've tried to put things in so quickly and not put our foot on the ball and taken time. A warning to close down O'Neill again after he's already bent two brilliant balls into the top corner. It's 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. Lucimar takes a short free kick to Antonov. He finds feet to Hugo and it's long towards Connolly. We've missed our strikers today, but there's no excusing our defensive work. Zhao's got a 6.4 out there and the rest of them should be a bit lower. It's a ball through to O'Neill again. This time it's Breno Henrique ignoring it. At the back post Medic is there. The other sub fullback Diamande doesn't mark him and it's 4-1 into the bottom corner. Derby Day embarrassment for Liverpool, and after some brilliant episodes and a fantastic recovery, this one's going to leave a sour taste in our mouths. It's feed to Hugo into Ryan Brewster, his shot saved by Webb, and it's wide to the left hand side as the ball's back into Morala. Into João who tries to shoot, but he gets his feet in a tangle, and the Everton centre half can clear long, no pressure on him at all. Diamande hoofs it forward towards no one, and Ben Harush wins it back for Antonov. The final whistle's about to go any second. We're over the allotted 2 minutes now, and Vita Hugo's still going backwards, and he's lost the ball to Conte. We're not going to concede a fifth, are we? We don't, as it's cleared long downfield, and as Everton put it out for a throw, hopefully the referee will put us out of our misery. It's a throw on the right for Breno Henrique. The whistle goes. It's a 4-1 defeat at Goodison Park. By far our worst day as Liverpool manager, and after some really brilliant performances, this one is going to take a long time to recover from. We've got to win our next 2 games to have a chance of Europe, but Everton leap back above us in the league. All that work to catch them, and ruined in one day like that. So if you're a fan of seeing us struggle, you've certainly got your wish today. We're down to 7th place in the league, 1 point above Arsenal and 3 behind Everton, with just 3 more games of the season remaining. We lose the Merseyside clash and the fans should be unhappy. It's an awful performance and a lot of lads didn't turn up, something you can't excuse in a game of this magnitude. If we go and have a look at the schedule though, we can see we'll be back for the last game of the season. We've got 2 big games coming up in the meantime, and I'm pretty sure this race for Europa League football is going to go down to the wire and the final game of the season. We've also got to bear in mind the FA Cup final, which could impact on whether 7th place gets Europe, but it would be brilliant to take Liverpool back into the competitions, particularly as they're a massive continental side. So hopefully we'll be able to do that, but based on today's performance, anything could go wrong at this point. Let me know in the comments if you think we'll hang on, or will both Everton and Arsenal finish above us? It would be a shame after such a big recovery, but it seems like we're bottling it at the crucial stage. But if you did enjoy seeing us struggle at Everton, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content, firstly from this short-term challenge with Liverpool, and then from our long-term one-club story with Torquay United, as we try to take them to the top of English and European football. We're coming towards the end of season 15 in that one. It's certainly been our most dramatic one so far, so if you're not up to date with the current season, then please do go back and check it out. There's also 3 episodes a week from my Cricket 19 career, every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at midday. A massive thank you to everyone that continues to support that series, as well as the Ashes Test playthrough we did beforehand. I've been blown away by the support for both series, so can't thank you enough for giving it a try. There's also weekly career mode content from my Snooker 19 story, that's every Friday at 4:30, but a massive thanks for watching this one as always, and your continued support with the series. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for another big episode as we play our final game with Liverpool.